Rick, do you think this team is ready for Big East play?
I don't know. You know, everything with me with this team is a guess. It's as you look at the schedule, sometimes you play, well, what could the record be? I was hoping at best it would be 8-2, at best. So we're not far off that. The Boston College game was a very big disappointment. Not that they're not good; they are a talented team. It's just that when you're a 10-point lead and you know you have to stop the 3-point shot, and then you give them three threes, which is very frustrating and very disappointing. But we are getting better. We are improving. We're playing against a team that's a much better team than us right now. And I'm not saying they have much better talent, much better team because they are. It's a system that's beat UConn twice last year, beat St. John's twice, and they've got a great system that they're playing to right now. Sean is not only a terrific coach, but he's got a great system. And whether or not we're ready for that system remains to be seen. It'd be a guessing game. Now, we have played good talent, but they've been through the juggernaut. They've played two top five teams in the country, Houston and Purdue, played them tough, and then played a Cincinnati rivalry game. So they've played a very tough schedule as well and lost to some teams that probably they would say they didn't think they would lose to at home.
You look at them with obviously two are starting forwards and partner players with Hunter and Frida. And look then and say with Joel and Chris, we can do a lot of that.
They've got a great front court. They've got the kid from North Texas State is terrific at the 5. They've got two foreign players outstanding with great size. We're never going to match up at the power forward spot size-wise in this league. So they have more than made up for the guys they're missing. Maybe not totally because those guys were terrific players, but they've got one of the best premier shooters in all of college basketball. Their backcourt's terrific. Their small forward's terrific. Their front court is deep. So, up front, just even against Fordham, we got in foul trouble. And luckily for us that Zuby and Driza came through for us. But, you wouldn't want to make a living every game putting people to the line 23 and 25 times a game.
I guess just under a decade since you coached a Big East game. Does coaching a Big East game for the first time in all that time do anything for you?
It's going to make me cry, Roger.
That's it. You're joking.
Look, I think it's the best basketball conference since the inception of Dave Gavitt starting it. I mean, in a given year, the ACC could be a little bit stronger, the SEC could be a little bit stronger, but the Big East, since the forming of it in the early '80s, has been just incredible. And now it's strong once again with a national champion, Marquette, Creighton. Butler's been a big surprise. Seton Hall's been playing great. Xavier, has played Houston, Purdue, and Cincinnati. So they've all played a very tough schedule, and it's going to be a heck of a year for a lot of teams.
Was getting back into competing against the other Big East schools for you anyway something that excited you about taking the St. John's job?
Yeah, exciting, apprehensive, excitement. Because you have to get ready for these teams in a very short period of time with 14 new players, and it's not. Our system is not in. Our system is based on relentless defense, what I've always called the mother-in-law defense, constant pressure and harassment, and we're nowhere near that yet, and it's going to take recruiting of quickness, athleticism, speed, size to get to that point. But we're just going to keep building toward that goal.
When you look at Saturday's film, do you feel like you really took a step forward?
We took a big step forward defensively with our intensity. We do the good, the bad, and teaching points. So the good had 29 really positive things, and the bad had 31 negative things, mostly on defense. So we still have a long way to go. When you start seeing 40 and 16 and 17, then you've made great strides.
What was it for BC?
BC was a matter of not taking care of the scouting report with the 3-point line. We played a good game. They were better. You got to give them all the credit.
So, I guess what I'm asking is, were there certain things defensively that you were looking for that you saw on Saturday, or was that Fordham obviously isn't a great offense?
We just wanted to see more aggressiveness. We wanted to see taking teams out of what they do, taking the scouting report, and then saying, okay, you have this, you know what they're going to do now. Take them out of what they do best, and we did a good job of that.
What does Xavier do best?
They're a great transition team. They play terrific defense. They're a great half-court team in executing their offenses. I think that we're going to have Conasec is a great home court advantage. There's no question about it. The Garden, not yet. Although I have to say the Fordham crowd was terrific. But Conasec is a very strong home court, as the Cintas, is that the name of it in Xavier? Cintas. That's a very strong home court. Most of the Big East teams have a very strong home court. And so obviously we've got to make sure that we zoom in on scouting and not the crowd, because it could work against you sometimes even though you're at home because you're trying to turn on the crowd. You got to make sure that you stay focused on this basketball team because, as I said, you know, Connecticut was a great basketball team last year. We played them in the first round, but they lost 7 Big East games. So my point being, you can't get carried away in this league with a nice string of 2 victories, and you can't get too down with a string of 2 losses. You just got to, it's a long, long way until March, and you got to just keep on getting better, keep on getting better, keep on getting better until you enter Madison Square Garden for that Big East tournament.
I know you said before the season it would take you a little while to get a feel for the competition again at this level. I know this is just stepping into Big East competition now, but these teams have now put, you know, say 10 games on tape and started to build resumes. So do you feel like the league is going to be what it was projected to be coming into the season?
Well, like I said, I have not seen Creighton play. I really haven't studied DePaul yet. I've seen Villanova. I've seen Providence. I've seen Seton Hall. I watched them play against Missouri the other night. Was very impressed. Obviously, I've seen a lot of Xavier every game they've played. So I don't know the league that well yet. My assistant tells me Georgetown's improving with each game and getting better. I have not seen Butler play yet. So I don't have a good feel. Now, I probably, more so than any coach in the league, have about the least amount of feel for this league.
How do you feel like this team stacks up in terms of readiness?
This is probably one of the most deeper teams I've played on. I think we shoot the ball way better than past teams that we had here, and I think we're more connected. And I feel like we're very ready for the Big East. It's gonna be tough for sure, but I think we're up for the challenge.
Dennis, do you look at Saturday as a step forward defensively, or is it obviously Fordham's not a very good offensive team? I think they're rated their efficiency is like somewhere in the 330s. Or do you need to say it was a good step, but obviously you're gonna be facing much more talent starting against them?
It was definitely a huge step. Whenever you can go out and hold a team to those type of percentages, you never underestimate that, no matter who you're playing, because everybody's trying to come out and score points. That's the objective of the game, is to score a lot of points. So to stop somebody as much as we did in that game, I told the guys, like, and all of us, like, that's the standard. It's no more that we can't do it, and our defense is not going to drop from that level, or we know why we lost the game. Like, if we don't play that defense for the rest of the year, we'll know why we lost the game, because we showed that we can play that defense, and we definitely took a huge step. Like I said, it doesn't matter who we're playing. If you play that defense against any team, that type of effort in what we did in rebounding and together stopping the paint, if we play that type of defense, I think we'll be in pretty good shape to win every game.
What did you think was different about how you guys played defensively?
For one, the effort. The effort was there. 2, we knew the scouting report. We actually executed our game plan for 40 minutes that game. Then 3, I just felt that was the one game where we played together on defense. Like, we were all covering for each other, and our mentality was no paint. So it wasn't like to just stop them. It was to not let them even in the paint. So I just think our mentality was really different for that game.
What do you make of? I mean, what are the things you guys have been doing to have a game like that?
Practice. Practice makes perfect. You just have to keep doing it. Just reps and reps at covering for each other. Being uncomfortable at practice, like going extremely hard at practice. Being in the help side for each other and things like that. So once the game comes, we've been doing it the whole week. And it just becomes a habit. Like we're just trying to make us have good habits on defense to where it'll translate in the game.
Dennis, you've been around Rick now for a couple of years. Do you see a new urgency or sense of fire in him this week now with Big East play starting?
I mean, I wouldn't say a new because, like I said, no matter like at Iona, it was like we were in the Big East. Like that's just who he is, and that's what's so great about Coach P that he holds every team he's ever coached to this same standard. So I'm used to him being this way. Like no matter what level he was at, he believed that we can play with the best team he's ever had. Like that's how he view us. Like it's not like, oh, I got a different team or it's not my same teams. No, he don't think like that. It's only my best team did it, so every team is gonna do it. Like that's just how he view it.
He played a lot of different combinations of lineups, specifically the first half on Saturday. Is it difficult having like other guys now kind of getting more minutes, or is it just trying to find the right combination of players who will mesh together well on the court to perform well?
I think coach just we got a deep team. We got a lot of players that can play. So I think coach just trying to give everybody a chance to see what you're gonna do with your time out there. So, other than that, I don't really think more into it.
Do you think Coach sent a message at all by starting either of you guys by starting Sean, a guy who maybe hadn't played a lot and had some good practices, and Jordan comes off the bench, Naeem still comes off the bench. I was kind of surprised to do it. Was there at all a message sent to guys that hey, like if you're not going to do what I want you to do, you're not going to play as much?
I don't think he really sent a message. I feel like Sean had a great past like 3 or 4 days practice. Like he was the guy that was standing out in practice, not just on offense but defensively too. He brought a lot to our team. He's the guy that was diving on loose balls, being in the gap, being there for his teammates, and I think we needed that, especially where we were at defensively. I think that he was bringing that new aspect to us. So I feel like Sean earned that starting spot that day. I don't feel like there was no type of message being thrown or anything. I think he just came in, had a great couple days of practice, and he played well. Coach P is the type of coach, like if you practice well, he's going to play you. It's not just because if he's trying to send a message or anything. I don't think Coach P really cares about that. Like if you're playing well in practice, if you're showing what the team needs you to do, he's going to play you. So that's about it.
Dennis, you know what the press is supposed to look like when it's complete. How close is the press on this St. John's team to where it needs to get?
Here at St. John's, I think our biggest thing is just getting into the press. I think once we set up and get into it, I think we're pretty good. Outside of sometimes we give up some easy catches, and we still not trapping as much in the backcourt. Like we don't get as many traps and things like that. But I think, like I said, as long as we communicate and get into it early, everyone know what press we're in and how we're supposed to play it. I think we're pretty good at it. So we're close. We're close to being there, but we still gotta know which one we're in. Like on what type of basket we score, we have to know.
I was also going to ask you about Wiltshire. He's the guy who's backing you up. He's a freshman, and you're a seasoned player who's played at the high level. And do you have a relationship with him? Do you work with him on things? Is there a thing going on, mentor and student kind of thing with you?
With that, you just have to like my approach to things like that is to you just have to go out and do it at practice. Like I just have to not turn the ball over. Like my biggest thing is just to be an example, rather than go out and just tell him, because it's kind of like I don't want to come to him like that. I don't want to come to him as I've played longer than him. I know more than him. I'm just better. Like I don't want to do none of that. Like because I think you like nobody wants to be treated in that way, and you know. So I just try to go out and be an example. I try to be the best example that I could be. Whether that's not like just small stuff. It's just small stuff by running the team, calling out plays for the team, telling guys where to go, and just talking to the team and just being that leader, just being the one that can calm everybody down. So that's pretty much my relationship with him. Like whenever I see something, I will say it. But other than that, I just try to be an example. Like I don't really try to just come to him as somebody because I've been in college basketball longer than him. I just try to be an example.
Joel, the Big East is a big man's conference per se. Just now going back into it for what I think is your third year here, what's your mentality like as many people expect you to be one of the best of the big men in the conference?
Well, my mentality is definitely to win as many games as possible. To be honest, man, I just come with a mindset that I'm just trying to outwork my opponent for real. Just step on the court, have a killer mindset. To be honest with you, as me as a man, as a person, I don't think there's nobody on this earth better than me. Even the NBA players, anybody. That's the type of confidence you have to have in yourself. So I just try to come with a killer instinct. Definitely because this conference is very, if you let it get the best of you, it'll get the best of you. So that's about it.
Do you look at what tomorrow is, a game that you can really control? They're
You're saying as
for you personally. They obviously they don't have two of their forwards, and they thought we're going to have this year in Hunter and Fremantle. As good as they are in the backcourt, they're kind of weak up front. You kind of look at, I can really make.
The front court players that they have, they're pretty good in my opinion. I know them I know one of them personally.
Abu?
Yeah, Abu. Yeah, I know him from high school. So I don't just because of their injuries, I don't think that they're weak in the front court. They're still going to come out and try to play their game. So, I take every game as an opportunity to go out there and play my game, no matter who it is. Not really.
Yeah, so you guys have had obviously some peaks and valleys so far through 10 games, really good games and bad ones. Do you feel like you're ready for what's coming? Obviously, tomorrow's gonna be a tough one. Then you go play one of the best teams in the country. And, the schedule there's really no let up. Do you sense the inconsistency that you guys are ready for what's to come?
That's a great question. But I think with the way that this schedule was put together this year, and with everything that went into this team, we definitely lost some games that we feel like we should not have lost. But it is what it is, and like we'll only know we learned from it with this upcoming rest of the season. Like what I mean by that is we go into this game starting Wednesday. We'll see how we play. We've been in tough games before. We've been in games where we were up or we were down, and we saw how we responded. 3 times it was the wrong way. So as long as we don't do that again, then you learn from the losses that we took early on in the season, and that's really the biggest thing for us. It's just that's what Coach P always tells us. After a loss, you always want to learn, like you want to understand why you lost. Like okay, the emotion part. You're mad, you're sad that you lost, but you have to get over that, and you have to really understand why we lost the games, and that's what we did. So moving forward, we get a chance to see did we actually learn from it, did we pay attention to the things we did wrong to try to come up with some big wins.
Joel, you've been in you've been in this league long enough. Just how important is it to get off to a fast start? Because past 2 years that you played in this league kind of been digging uphill. Losing a couple of games early, just how important is it to start fast and get wins early in Big East play?
I think it's very important, definitely, because you want to build momentum, especially because we got Xavier coming in. I feel like that's our main focus right now, and then we got going into a tough environment at UConn. So The Big East, man, is just a very, very tough conference, man, because you're gonna have a fight every given night. So I think stacking up as much wins as possible is key. So just building as much momentum as you can, because every team is gonna give you their best shot. So I feel like tomorrow's gonna be a big test for us. So we have to see how we respond to that.
When you guys look at Xavier, what do you think is the hardest thing to stop about them?
I would say for the past couple of days that we've been watching film, I would say the biggest thing is their transition. They get out on a break quick. I think they're one of my coaches were saying that they were one of the fastest paced teams in the country. So I think that's the biggest thing that we have to limit is definitely their transition.